a very special moment today for a number of reasons. Rarely ever in the history of India, a corporate law firm has taken this extraordinary responsibility to really develop a culture of mooting and advocacy in India. 25 years is a very long time to mark this milestone, so I'm really grateful to Honorable Justice Sundaresh, Dr. Abhishek Manu Singhvi, and of course the Surana and Surana family, for all of them to be present here, not just because of the fact that we are celebrating a particular law firm, but we are actually celebrating what the legal profession can stand for if committed individuals through concerted efforts can actually make a huge difference to the future of legal education and legal profession. There are 5 things that has made a very important impact on the work of what Surana and Surana Attorneys have done as we celebrate 25 years of mooting, and I want to emphasize this. These are, first, their contribution helped in bridging the gap between the theory and practice of law. As all of us who are part of law schools, we strongly emphasize the theoretical understanding and study of law in our classrooms. But one of the things that Surana Surana has done through promoting the mooting culture is to bridge this gap between the theory and practice of law. Second, something that law firms don't do at all, which is to build organizational capacities within law schools and promoting advocacy in the form of mooting. Law firms are inherently governed on the basis of billable hours and their own approach towards clients and how much revenues get generated, and the entire governance model of law firms in India and around the world is based upon a simple approach towards revenue generation. On the other hand, Surana and Surana took a different path. They recognized early on that they need to give it back to the legal profession. They owe it to those new law students who are studying in law schools and created this culture of mooting, and it has sustained over the last quarter century. The third is that Surana and Surana International Attorneys contributed to the mentoring of students, something that never happened in law schools outside the law school ecosystem. And this I'm talking about over 25 years. I remember very vividly when almost, I think, 2 decades ago, I had the privilege to be part of Vinod's effort at the ILS College, Pune. And at that time, ILS College was we had some very distinguished professors, and I remember having this conversation with him, and the vision at that time was very clearly that there is something to be said about making an impact in the law schools by giving time of the lawyers who are otherwise used to doing billable work. This has provided enormous opportunities to students of multiple generations now, and once again, congratulations to Surana and Surana. The fourth, something very dear to me, which is democratization of legal education. In India, we have a caste system for all kinds of activities. In legal education also, there is unfortunately a caste system. When most of the thinking was confined towards national law schools and national law schools only, Surana and Surana went beyond the framework of national law schools and involved other institutions such as ILS College Pune, Symbiosis, KLE College and Lloyd's College, and so many other law schools. In fact, if there is one law firm even beyond the legal profession which has contributed to the democratization of legal education by challenging the status quo of hierarchy of law schools in India, it is Surana and Surana. And once again, I want to congratulate. And this is important because of the fact that, we have 1,600 law schools in India, and there are very bright students who are studying in all of these law schools. And why should those students feel that they are somehow inferiorly situated when it comes to their legal education? The larger system in India, unfortunately, has discriminated and in many ways denied the opportunity to be part of good experiences when it comes to promoting excellence in education. Surana and Surana challenged that status quo and did not confine his and the firm's interaction only to a few select law schools, but actually expanded their entire presence across law schools, and students from relatively new and ordinary law schools in different parts of rural and urban India were able to become part of the mooting culture, and this is one of the singularly significant contribution that Surana and Surana has done. And the last one is the social responsibility of law firm, that what Surana and Surana has done. We are obviously in a crisis when it comes to both legal education and legal profession. The fact is, with 1600 plus law schools in India, our Honorable Judge briefly talked about the mushrooming of law schools. There is a clear crisis when it comes to institutionalization of mediocrity in law schools across India. We simply don't have the wherewithal, the faculty, the research agendas, the infrastructure, and indeed the ability to manage such a large set of law schools, and that process is on. So there is a huge crisis in legal education. But this crisis is not only confined to legal education. I dare say the crisis is even more significant in the legal profession. India is graduating approximately 75,000 to 80,000 lawyers every year, and they are joining the 1.5 million plus lawyers who are out there doing very many things. The Dr. Singhvis of the world are rare exception to the larger mediocrity that is embedded across the legal profession. So the question is, what do we do? Well, I can go on and on about how things are bad and we can lament about it, but then I was reminded of an extraordinary speech by none other than Dr. Martin Luther King in 1963, August, when he talked about slavery and discrimination, and that speech went on to become one of the greatest speeches of 20th century. And he says, and I quote, "Let us not wallow in the valley of despair. I say to you today, my friends. So even though we face the difficulties of today and tomorrow, I still have a dream. It is a dream deeply rooted in the American dream. I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live on to the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream that my 4 little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but the content of their character. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day down in Alabama, with its vicious racists, with its governor having his lips dripping with the words of interposition and nullification, one day, right down in Alabama, little black boys and black girls will be able to join hands with little white boys and white girls as sisters and brothers. I have a dream today. I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted, every hill and mountain shall be made low, the rough places will be made plain, the crooked places will be made straight, and the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. So I'm going to talk about my dream for the legal education and legal profession. So I have 5 big ideas I want to quickly share with you. I'm conscious of time, so I will leave in 5 minutes when we'll have Abhishek to speak for 15 minutes. First, the future of legal education. I have a dream that the future of legal education is going to have a strong and substantive impact on promoting research, knowledge creation, and sharing big ideas that can help us address the significant problems of law in our society. I'm not going to elaborate it. Second, I have a dream that the emphasis in the future will be in law schools on speaking truth to power, and law schools will be able to strengthen democratic institutions and create independent thinking so that they can influence society. Third, I have a dream that the law schools of the future in India will not be confined to the narrow proposition of studying law, but will also foster on stronger interdisciplinarity with strong emphasis on liberal arts, humanities, and social sciences. No serious law student can aspire to become an outstanding lawyer or a judge without having strong grounding in sociology, political science, history, anthropology, philosophy, literature, economics, and many other disciplines. Fourth, I have a dream that the law schools of the future will embrace technology but will not be reluctant to challenge the use of technology, recognizing issues relating to ethics and privacy, which are going to shape the future use of technology in society. I have a dream that the future law schools will emphasize more strongly on experiential learning and also working towards addressing the gap between what the legal profession does and what the law schools do. That's as far as 5 propositions as far as the future of legal education is concerned. I hope that the mediocrity in legal profession is challenged and we are prepared to talk more about it in a more candid and fearless manner. Second, I hope and I have a dream that senior lawyers, especially in litigation, are ready to take greater responsibility towards improving the quality of the legal profession. Far too many decades have been lost by being myopic and narrow when it comes to their work in the legal profession. This is the time when they ought to take greater responsibility. Third, I have a dream that the role of judges in advancing the cause of legal profession need to be stronger. New reforms and initiatives need to strengthen the justice delivery mechanism, and access to justice cannot be a distant reality. Technology, ethics, and issues like privacy will form the heart and center of that future, and judges need to be trained for it. Fourth, continuing legal education need to become an absolutely critical component for both lawyers and judges, and training and capacity building in this regard needs to be broad-based, inclusive, democratic, and accessible. And the last, which is the legal profession need to be far more collaborative across all aspects. The lawyers need to be working more closely in law schools. The judges need to be working more closely with law professors, the corporate law firms, the litigating law firms, the in-house counsels, and all others. This fragmentation of legal profession needs to be challenged if we were to address the future of legal profession. I want to share something that is very special for us at Jindal. We talked about how Surana Surana was influenced by Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer. I've had the privilege of being mentored by Justice Krishna Iyer for so long as a very young student in law faculty. I see Dr. Rajkumar here, and Justice Krishna Iyer had visited law faculty when I was a student in 1994, and since then I've been, I had the privilege of engaging with him a lot. And believe it or not, and over the years I've kept in touch with him. I invited him to Harvard when I was a student, and he gave a beautiful lecture. And then sometime around early 2008, when I returned to India to set up the university, I met him and I told about the plans of setting up Jindal. And then I wrote an email to him. And this is typical Justice Krishna Iyer. Now 2008 it was. He was already 95 plus, and he had his office to check emails. So I sent an email at around 2 o'clock in the afternoon asking for a message from Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer, which will be published in a brochure of the non-existent law school and the non-existent university. March 2008, we were acquiring land in Sonipa. Nothing was there. Just we were acquiring land. And I sent this email to him. And within half an hour, I got a call from him. Rajkumar, did you see my email? So I said, well, I just sent it, so then I'm doing other things. I haven't, I'm pretty fast in checking and responding. So I didn't, and so I went and checked the email. And this is the message that he wrote in March 2008, when we were acquiring land. No buildings, no faculty, no students, no staff. And I want to read this message. This is Justice V.R. Krishna Iyer writing in March 2008. The O.P. Jindal Global University and the Jindal Global Law School are an institutional twin of terrestrial glory, sky high and sea deep in jurisdiction and jurisprudence, a cosmic wonder of learning and wisdom in every dimension, and an expanding universe of erudition embracing in its rich plurality the art of living and the science of being. Entire humanity is its comprehensive constituency. Search for truth in its limitless infinity and exalted excellence are its supreme ambition. May this tryst with divine noesis be fulfilled in the sublime century of ever-escalating achievements. Law and life will reach their finest hour when this great goal gains profound locomotion through this unique university, unquote. Honorable Mr. Justice Krishna Iyer, former President. Thank you very much.